What's up? What's up? What's up?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
How you doing,
What's
sir?
going on? I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Hold on. Oh, I think I got a little bit of feedback here.
Oh,
Is that on
what
my
are we
end or what's
hearing?
going on here?
How does it sound? How's the feedback sound? Is it just kind of like a buzzing? Let me check my audio.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to throw my headphones in.
Let's see.
No, it's
Should
like
I
a
rejoin?
echo.
From my side, you think? Let me try and restart.
I'm gonna throw my headphones in just to test it.
Testing, testing. Hello, hello. How does that sound?
Check, check, check. Okay, no. I don't think there's an echo anymore. You there?
How does that sound? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. You might have to
Sorry, folks. A little bit of technical difficulties here. Bear with me.
Hello, hello. How does that sound?
Oh, buddy, Chris on. I can't hear you though, Chris.
You can't hear me. Okay, let's see. I'm using now. Hello, hello? Seems like, let me see if I can hear
Hello?
myself on the stream on Twitter. Hello, hello. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 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 testing.
Still can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Someone get into the comments and just let me know if you can hear me.
Hello, hello, hello.
Chris can hear me, but I can't hear you. Can anyone hear Chris? Into the comments, let me know.
I can hear myself on the stream. Little bit of technical difficulties, fellas, but nothing too crazy to be worried about.
How about now? Okay, maybe this is working.
Hello, hello?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, maybe the feedback was just on your end. Now I don't need the headphones. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Here we are. Okay, got a lot of stuff to get into in the docket here. So first, I just want, what do you think about the new intro video? The robot walking.
I love it. It's literally us, by the way. It's just us.
Yeah.
In our future cyborg bodies, but we're just small and cute. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I like that.
Us slowly walking into the future, figuring everything out. So, yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, lots of stuff going on in the markets right now. So I just want to hop into that real quick. Let me bring this up. So if you're looking at the markets right now, ETH is like desperate to break out at this point. It looks like it wants to break out to new highs here. But the stuff that's holding back the markets right now is this situation with, well, basically Donald Trump keeps tweeting out that like tensions are heating back up with Iran. So this is like causing a little bit more uncertainty in the markets once again. However, despite like all this stuff that's heating up with Iran right now, the markets still seem to want to go up. Let me pull this up. Let me see the chart here. So yeah, like you can see, like Ethereum's actually just about to break out into, it's already like poking into new highs there. So yeah, I think the main reason that despite the Iran news and like, I would say the stock market is relatively selling off right now, gold and silver are pumping, and Ethereum holding up. So I think the main reason behind this is this news here. So it looks like We talked about it on like past live streams. The main thing that's been holding up this Clarity Act from passing has been this ethics package. Excuse me. So basically, the Republicans and the Democrats cannot agree on this, haven't been able to agree in the past on this ethics package that they don't want like the Trump family or any politician basically to be able to like profit from crypto. So this has been the only thing that's been holding up the Clarity Act from passing. And for those that don't know, the Clarity Act is like a huge deal. It's going to put like proper regulations in place for the whole crypto industry and basically remove all the uncertainty that's been happening over the past uh, 4+ years in the crypto space, where the SEC has been going after crypto companies, and the whole space basically has been like in decline or sideways because there's been like just so much uncertainty and around regulation. So this will just clear all that air, and it looks like Eleanor's done like a very good job of reporting on this. It looks like the Republicans and the Democrats are finally in agreement on some sort of ethics package. So this is the last hinge, and it looks like I think she just tweeted something like an hour ago. Also, let me check. Yeah. Industry stakeholders are set to have a call with Republican leadership today, later this morning, to receive like the latest text on the Clarity Act, which should include this new stuff around ethics. So, if you look at Poly Market right now, like they're still only pricing in like a 41% chance of this passing. I think this is like pretty low in my opinion. I think I
Not
think
financial advice.
yeah, not financial advice. I think there's a very good chance that this passes. I think it's a little like closer to like 80% at this point if they agree on ethics. And I think this is the reason why I think Polymarket's actually a little bit behind on this. I think this is why Ethereum is like breaking out despite there being like this Iran news. So I don't know. What are you thinking about all this? What, you think we're in a pretty good position? You think the bottom's in?
Yeah, it's always like really hard to even kind of quantify how much all this stuff is kind of affecting the market, you know. There's like an infinite supply of like Middle Eastern FUD that's been going into the market for the last few like months. And it's kind of weird to see like, okay, how long is the market going to be scared for? How much is it going to react to the similar news over and over and over? Especially when something like meaningful like a Clarity Act comes along, you know, will it just get stifled? It's good to see that things do want to go up though. That's like a really positive sign. I think looking at the chart, you kind of see support start to build out for ETH and BTC. So, I mean, those are all positive things if you're an investor. Those are all things that you'd want to look for. And, you know, the fact that we do get some positive price action during a moment of maybe international instability is a positive thing for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what is that term that they say like in bear markets, like like good news, like the markets don't respond to good news, and in bull
Yeah.
markets, the markets don't respond to bad news. They just go up. So like this is a good sign if we're getting like actually bad macro news around like this whole Iran situation, and despite that, the markets are still trying to go up here, which is good. Uh, could be a good sign that like, hey, maybe we're moving into like a little bit of a an upward move here, or maybe the bottom's in. So last thing I kind of want to say on like this whole Clarity situation, my buddy Jake here, who's like a pretty well-known lawyer in the space. He talks about how like bills like Clarity always look impossible right up until the last moment when they pass. So this was like he tweeted this like quite a few weeks ago. So props to him. Everybody was super negative on Clarity, saying it's not going to pass. Like a lot of influencers were saying like there's like a 0% chance it passes. I know you and I have been pretty optimistic about it, and yeah, he's been pretty optimistic on it also. He said like looks tough right now, but let's see. And now like yeah, a couple weeks ahead, and looks like they might have found the last kind of linchpin here, and maybe Yeah, if they can get this passed, I think it's just super bullish. Like we've talked about many times in the past, like markets absolutely despise uncertainty. And I think one of the reasons why crypto has performed so bad over the past 4 years is because they just haven't been able to pass any sort of like legislation around this. The SEC was just a nightmare on the crypto industry, regulating through enforcement actions, and that's just not a way to get anything done. So this clarity bill is a big deal. One other thing that has been holding back the markets a lot, while we're on this markets topic, and I think that a lot of this uncertainty is actually going away, is this whole strategy situation. I don't know if you've been following this, Chris, but like this whole Michael Saylor situation has just been such a drag on the market. But I
Yeah.
think, from my opinion, like we're getting at the end of this here. I think the uncertainty around this whole situation has been pretty much de-risked now, at least for this next cycle. Michael Saylor just announced yesterday that, or the day before, that he just increased the USD reserves for strategy by another 225 million. So they're up to 3.2 billion now in USD reserves. So like according to my calculations, this gives them like I think like 2 years of runway or something like that to be able to pay the dividends for this STRC. And this is like the main thing that has been causing the uncertainty, is like, are they going to sell billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in order to have to make these dividend payments? I think that a lot of that uncertainty is now removed, especially if you account for the fact that like we're probably going to go into a bull market here, at least in the next couple of years. So if he can pay dividends for the next couple of years, and then we go into a bull market, that basically removes like all the sell pressure that he could potentially put on the market with Bitcoin by selling Bitcoin. So yeah, that's a huge sign of relief. Also, have you been following this Michael Saylor situation? What do you think? Has he been a net benefit to the space or net negative?
He's definitely been a net positive for the price action, I think. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw the like that trade really heavy last year summer, and there's just Sailor is another one of those topics where there's an infinite amount of FUD. I don't know how many times I've heard people be like, "Oh, it's over. He can't pay. They have to sell the BTC. Price action's cooked. So now it's over."
yeah,
And here we are, cycles later, and strategy is still stacking BTC. You know what I mean? And it's still massive. I don't even know what percentage of the Bitcoin supply they're at now. Something disturbing, probably.
yeah. I'm
Um,
not exactly sure, but it's a very large chunk.
so like the point is like there's gonna be a lot of, and yes, of course, there's always a risk, but there's a lot of FUD as well. There's a lot of narrative. Narrative comes first, and I mean we're yet to see a true, I don't know, like failure come out from
Yeah.
them. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I I said this in a past live stream, but like if you go to the STRC chart, which is the stretch preferred shares, this is where they pay the dividends. It basically, if you follow this, it's like a an indicator of the market's confidence in Michael Saylor. This is what I use as a confidence indicator. Basically, you can see here that like he there was a lot of uncertainty, and it just started to like drag down the whole market here, as the like par for this is basically $100. So he needs to get back to $100, and then you could technically say that the market's confidence in Saylor is like is solid. And it dipped down to like 70, almost 70, which was like, yeah, it was like getting near a point where it was like almost catastrophic. And yeah,
Yeah.
there was like, yeah, but like you can see here over the past couple of weeks, it's basically balanced out, and it's now around 87, and probably also gonna do another leg up here towards 100 again. So I would say that like it's not completely like priced out yet, or like the confidence is not priced out yet, and but like it's getting close. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have like kind of trauma, and they have a very risk averse appetite where they kind of think everything is just like a scam. You know what I mean? Anything big that positively influences price action and is kind of like, they just kind of assume like, okay, this can't last, right? In
Yeah.
the back of their mind. Whereas ultimately, like Michael Saylor is basically just a is just a person who holds your Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin with him because you need someone to
Yeah.
store it for you. So it's not like he is doing something super, super crazy where there's just no chance that, um, where there's like a massive risk, like a Terra Luna or an FTX, where super, super shady dealings are occurring.
Yeah, I mean, everything he's doing is like legit and above board. It's kind of funny though. Like everyone, like a lot of people, a lot of influencers, like in the Bitcoin space, like literally just turned into like master Michael Saylor short sellers, and everyone was
Yeah,
trying to like talk down like basically like cheering for his downfall, which was just like kind of ironic or sad to see from like a bunch of big names in the space. Like I don't know, too many mercenaries
yeah,
in the space. Like
for sure.
uh, we need more people that are just like true crypto believers that are here for the long term and not just like trend followers. And yeah, I don't know, sad to see.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? Because a lot of people don't understand how it works, and then there's also the ARB, right, that people can do between the stock and the um,
True.
holdings, the crypto equity. So like, it's just kind of this weird topic that people don't really understand, and like the price is going up a lot because he's buying, and like, where is this guy getting money to buy so much Bitcoin from all of the time? No one can even believe it. Must be scam, right? Let's
Yeah.
short sell him immediately. And
Yeah.
it just doesn't work, it just hasn't worked. So maybe it'll work one day, but I don't know. There's a
Yeah.
lot of mutual vested interest for Michael Saylor to not explode,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
runway is extremely nice to have, I'm sure, for everybody who's
Yeah. Yeah.
invested
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
them.
It's. I'm just happy that this is kind of taken out of the uncertainty flywheel that we keep getting into. So yeah, props to Michael Saylor for getting that back on course because yeah, it did look a little scary there for a little while, but yeah, I don't know. See what happens. In other news, this is more up your alley here. Like on the AI front, there's been like two major news stories here. So the first one I talked a little bit on my last stream, but I want to kind of pick your brain around this. So this Kimi K3 came out, and this is for those that don't know, this is the first Chinese model that has like at least on this benchmark overtaken the frontier models of the US on the coding arena. So yeah, super surprising. This took a lot of people like by surprise and caught them off guard. And yeah, so they just released this a few days ago. And yeah, basically it is like outperforming in the coding arena Fable 5 and GPT 5.6. Um, and yeah, I mean, the biggest, like David Sachs reported on this here, and he was saying that like hey, this is a big deal, like this and concerning because like right now, like the US, I mean, obviously from the West perspective, they want to win this like huge AI race that's going on, and the US just keeps shooting themselves in the foot around like regulation and trying to overregulate this stuff. And like, for example, I don't know if you've seen this. Um, like Anthropic has just been on this like fear campaign. They put out this they put
Yeah.
out this post. There's hope in hard questions, and it's basically just like a almost 2 minute long video with like some subliminal messages about like how scary AI is, how it like can it be trusted, and like it's just
Oh
horrible.
no.
And
Yeah.
then I want to show you this too. Chamath just tweeted about this. So and then Anthropic is like doubling down, and now their midterm spending is up to $40 million that they're committing to like different um, like politicians, I guess, in the midterms to try to push this AI regulation. So they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Like basically, what they're trying to do is eventually like ban open source and ban like these Chinese models and stuff. But like I don't know, like this is just like killing the US's advantage that they had. They were so far ahead on these frontier models, and now they're falling behind to some of these open source models. I don't think you can just ban this stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts around this?
Yeah, you definitely can't ban this stuff. Like, it's not a thing that you can ban. I don't even know. I don't know how you would ban its development because it's all open source. It's not like this is something new that people can't get their hands on. If you have your own compute and your own processing, like you can just install these and train them yourself
Mhm.
if you have data sets. So it's kind of a flawed thing to do. But also, sometimes like a benchmark like this will come out and it's like, okay, well, how did they accomplish um, this result? And it just tends to be like, as we've seen before, they will steal like tokens on a more powerful model and then just try to like min max for a specific task like coding, and be like, oh look, our model is like actually incredible, but in terms of practice, in terms of like practical usage, it actually falls behind some of these bigger models. So you have to kind of wait and see if this model is truly meeting this perceived capability.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, like there's this thing called distillation that I've been reading about, where like a lot of these Chinese models and stuff like that, they're actually like they can't directly, like they don't directly have access to like the training that like the like Anthropic and OpenAI are going through. But basically, what they'll do is just spend like I don't know, like a lot of money in tokens and like ask Fable, for example, or Mythos a bunch of questions, and then like train their AI models on the answers that they get from Fable. So it's like I believe it's called distillation,
Yeah.
and they'll basically they're just like training their models this way. So it's kind of just like a derivative of the same model, which is super weird. But like the main thing here is that like the cost advantage. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, so Chamath shared this, how like a lot of these like Kimi K3, for example, you can get like spend 50 cents per million tokens, as opposed to like with the top frontier models, you're spending like $56 for the same 1 million tokens. So this is the big advantage that these open source like models and Chinese models have. And I don't know, like a lot of people are like kind of token max fatiguing on this stuff, like spending like millions, like these big companies like Uber and stuff like that, spending millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars on token maxing, and like it's only sustainable for so long. Like eventually, you have to show an ROI on spending this much on tokens, or else they're gonna like start switching to like cheaper models or something like that. So I don't know how
Yeah.
sustainable this is.
Yeah, and that even that thing about like projection, okay, how much should we spend on tokens? How much should we expect to get out of these tokens? It's still a hard thing to like deduce because standard practice is constantly changing. Model capability sometimes just changes, especially from frontier models. Like, it's not entirely clear, and the only solution is just have infinite money, which, companies don't have. Maybe they get subsidies from the token provider company itself, that's good. But you as the average participant, you definitely want to be using free models if you have the ability to, because it is so expensive. And again, you just don't have that certainty. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this much for my value. It's not there yet, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something to consider, I think, for these.
Yeah, and I've also been reading like on recent reports here that like so like like this is just anecdotal so far. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't tested it myself, but like there's some people that have been like signing up for Kimi K3 subscriptions, and then like I think it's like $19 a month. They're trying to undercut like ChatGPT's similar model. or subscription by like $1, whereas like ChatGPT is 20. But they're saying that like yeah, Kimi K3 like consumes like 3 times the amount of tokens, and they're burning through this like $19 subscription in like record time, and ChatGPT is actually more efficient. So like if you just compare it that way, like through subscriptions, it's like a bit of like a Javon's paradox or whatever it's called, where like yeah, everything gets cheaper and more efficient, but actually like usage goes up because everybody starts using it more, finds new use cases for it, and like the actual consumption actually increases over time and doesn't go down. So yeah, I think like the more people that switch over to these open source models, that could also drive the cost up, and maybe it balances things out. But also at the same time, like ChatGPT, OpenAI is like heavily subsidizing these subscriptions. Like I think if you
Yeah,
max, yeah, like if you max out a ChatGPT subscription of $200 a month, I think you're like they did the math on it, like you're spending thousands of dollars a month. So which you're only paying 200. So OpenAI is subsidizing this. So I don't know where this all goes, but I just know it's like not sustainable how we're doing it right now.
I don't believe in like the Chinese supremacy as much as these people kind of talk about, because you have to keep in mind OpenAI and Claude, or like Anthropic, are losing money, losing billions, um, making these models, running servers to like be able, or servers, uh, running, their infrastructure to be able to distribute tokens. It's not profitable. The only reason they can do this is because they have like hundreds of billions in funding that they're getting, some from the government.
Hmm.
Uh, Kimmy K does not have similar funding, you know? A lot of these Chinese labs, they don't have similar funding. So I don't expect these Chinese models, even if they become slightly better over time, to be economically competitive um, with the US frontier labs, right?
Hmm.
Unless they reach some level of funding that's similar. I mean, I don't know specifically Kimmy K's, but I highly doubt that they are even close to being able to do something like what OpenAI and Anthropic are able to.
Yeah, you mean like from the perspective of like having to train new models and keep up and stuff like that? It's like super expensive. Like, yeah,
Yeah, there's
that's
huge infrastructure. So like training costs, compute costs on new models, and then being able to like provide the tokens for so many people. The demand for OpenAI and Anthropic tokens is absurd. Like it is
mhm.
absurd. Um, so
Yeah,
I
like
doubt that it's just gonna be, oh, our model is like slightly better and everybody's just gonna infinitely use our tokens.
yeah, it's a
It
great
can't
point.
even
Yeah,
work like
like
that.
it costs a lot of money to train a frontier model. So yeah, like it's true. That is one big advantage that the US has, is like access to these capital markets in such a big way that yeah, they'll basically they can get forever funding, like through IPO and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a very good point I never thought about. Um, yeah, that's definitely an advantage for the US, like just the ability to get like unlimited funding that they need to like keep training these models and stuff like that. But yeah, like I guess eventually the market has to find some sort of equilibrium between supply and demand and figure out the actual
Yeah.
cost for this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think like you can't beat them. Like you can't beat the companies with infinite money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the investment from like all the mega institutions and the governments. Um, I don't know much about Kimi K3 or who really owns Kimi. I don't know exactly how it works in China, but and I'm sure the Chinese know this. I'm sure the Chinese like they're desperately trying to get everybody to use their models as much as they can. Like hence why they're doing stuff like this. Hence why they're trying to um, be competitive at least in terms of results and try to undercut from results. But yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
hard for them.
100%.
It'll be hard. I'm still yet to be like, okay, everybody's using this new Chinese model. Like that's been a thing, you know what I mean? Like that's been a thing at least since December where, oh, this new Chinese model is so good, like everybody's gonna switch immediately, surely, right? Has it happened? I mean,
Yeah, not
not
yet.
really.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm. It's gonna be fun to watch because like this is for the like GLM 5.2 got a lot of people's attention because it got super close. There were like people were estimating like, oh, these Chinese models are about 3 months behind the frontier models. But then all of a sudden this Kimi K3 comes out, and all of a sudden, at least on the one like coding arena benchmark, it's ahead. So it's not ahead on every benchmark, as you can see here. Fable 5, GPT 5.6 still ahead on a few, but it's ahead on quite a few benchmarks, which is very interesting. So like, yeah, I'll be very interested to see the data on like how much how much of how many people actually switch over. But then like I said, there's Javon's paradox, and then all of a sudden the demand just starts going crazy for Kimi K3. And then like I just read a report also today that Kimi K3 like has shut down new subscriptions. So they've already, because demand was too large, had to like stop new subscriptions. So yeah, like you couldn't even like switch over if you wanted to at this point. So yeah, it'll be interesting, fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be very strange. Yeah, but
Very strange.
again, you have to think about like the narratives like that are coming out. Why do the narratives exist? Like why is the story about like the Russian or the like the Chinese like competition? What is the goal of that? You know, who does it benefit for there to be a big fear about you know, Chinese competition? Well, actually, like the frontier labs, you know what I mean? No one is a bigger proponent of how good the Chinese labs or the Chinese models are than the frontier labs, because that just means they get even more funding, and that's really the end goal.
Yeah,
So
that's another very good point. Yeah, that, I mean, that could be a reason why, and another reason why Anthropic has been like really fear mongering so much. Yeah, because it's like, hey, we need to win this race. Like, give us more funding, get us like attention, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's a good point.
yeah, yeah, it's a weird, and yeah, I mean, I can't tell you exactly what Anthropic's trying to do with their marketing strategy. I'm not entirely sure either. I think they're losing the popular war, culture war in the U.S., but
Mhm.
they might be winning the funding war. So you know that's good for them. I don't know what their strategy is to. I don't know if they care about you know appealing to people as much, maybe because it seems like the amount of people who are online like bashing LLMs is increasing exponentially, but then the usage is also increasing, you know? I've known people now that are so super anti like LLM, super anti like all AI slop, and they're capitulating privately, and it's like, okay, well, maybe a lot of this narrative is kind of fake, and people will just adopt it anyway.
I mean, yeah, no matter how much hate it gets, and how much people protest, like it's happening whether you like it or not. So yeah, I mean, eventually people are going to have to learn that they need to adopt this or get left behind. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting, fun to watch. Super other. I want to share this with you because I'm not sure if you kind of got into it yet, but like on the same front here. So there's this instant, Sam Altman, from who's the CEO of OpenAI, he just talked about how they had this significant security incident during the evaluation for one of their new models. And so basically what happened here, let me dig into this. So this is the guy from Hugging Face who got hacked. Um, so basically, he said that we suspected last night, like last week's cyber attack, might have been come from one of the frontier labs, and it turns out that it did. It was OpenAI. So basically, what happened? There's a little bit of a breakdown here, actually, from Peter Gostev, who's one of the guys who works for the coding arena where the benchmark gets done. So basically, he said like what happened was this new model from OpenAI, which is Chat GPT-6, the new model. It escaped OpenAI's like evaluation sandbox during testing for this cyber gym benchmark, and then hacked Hugging Face's prod database to try to find the answers, so it could essentially cheat on this benchmark because it couldn't get, I don't know, like it couldn't find the right answers or whatever it was, but it just like broke out hacked Hugging Face, their database to like find the answers to the questions that they were being asked for the benchmark. And then this is the super ironic and weird thing is that OpenAI and Anthropic couldn't or sorry, like CyberGym, which is the benchmark, they were trying to use like Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 in order to like defend themselves, and they couldn't because they were getting prompt rejected. uh,
Yeah.
by Fable because like as everybody knows now, like Fable 5 and GPT 5.6, like they fall back if they think it's like a cybersecurity threat and you might be a hacker, they'll actually fall back and use like shittier models which can't really defend themselves. So they weren't able to use like Fable and GPT 5.6 to defend themselves and to try to like stop GPT-6 from hacking them. So they actually had to use an open source Chinese model, GLM 5.2, to try to investigate the hack, which is just super ironic.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah. I mean,
And
stories like
then,
this are just absurd, and it's not even the first time that something like this has happened, right? Like we've heard of already a few of these. I think Fable 5 had similar situation now where we broke the sandbox and went and hacked something, or like was socially engineering someone or something to get an
yeah, that's
answer.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was social engineering one of the guys. I think it was like ended up being like a test that like kind of pointed him in that direction. But yeah, he was like trying to blackmail one of the guys.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, oh, to be a researcher at a frontier lab right now. That's got to be one of the craziest jobs ever created.
Yeah, this it's pretty wild. I mean, I have some like theories on this. And like, oh, I want to share one more thing here. Um, so it turns out that the attack was initially surfaced through AI assisted detection, which means that like basically like Chat GPT-6 or like OpenAI, like the AI that hacked Hugging Face also detected its own hacking and like tried to stop itself, which is hilarious. So it
Reported it.
detected itself from hacking someone else and then like tried to stop itself from hacking someone else. So it's just like a big loop, which is ironic and hilarious. But there is some speculation out there, which I kind of agree with Kopelman here. That like at this point I wouldn't rule out the fact that like OpenAI might be like using this incident or maybe even created this incident as like a big story to try to like promote their up and coming GPT-6 launch, which is due to like launch in the next couple of weeks here. So they might be using this like similar to how they did with like Mythos, like Anthropic did with Mythos, to try to like garner up a bunch of attention and like show like how capable this new model is and get everyone like hyped about it basically. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, very possible. The beautiful part about these internal tests is that, there's no third party evaluation. So you can say anything at all happened, and it's up to the market to decide if you're trolling or not. Um, it would be cool if that was the case. I will say that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I mean, Chamath kind of sums this up pretty good, but he tweeted this a while ago. It was mainly around the costs, but I think it like also around the fact that like they're regulating these models so much that we can't even like use them properly. I completely agree. Like the future is open source, and by open source, like without guardrails, basically, like without all these like regulations that are like controlling how you can use these models, like just release them into the wild, let people use them. They're just tools. And like the only thing that should be like regulated is like the laws. Like you're not allowed to be a terrorist, you can't make bombs. Like we already have laws against that sort of stuff. So like just enforce those laws, but don't regulate or like over regulate and like control like these models, like, or else we're just going to fall behind. Like the West is going to fall behind and someone else is going to win this AI race. That's kind of my rant on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the future is open source for sure. I think it's really, really clear. And I think everybody kind of stands to benefit from that. So it should be the natural direction, you know, as much as people. I don't even know who these people are that don't like open source AI. Like, who are these people? Genuinely,
Yeah,
it's
I
yeah,
think it's just Anthropic, and they're I don't know, a bunch of goons over there that are trying to get people away from open source. Yeah, I don't know, like from an actual user perspective, like why would you not want open source? I don't know, makes no sense.
yeah. I think from a safety perspective, you want to open source from like a egalitarian perspective, moral perspective, from like a productive, you know, not productive, pragmatic perspective. You'd want that as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I mean, the FUD is just basically everything could explode and die if we let anybody have models. Only I should get models. Also, give me all the money. Only I can make the good model. I think that's
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, yeah, you
the
bring up
core of
another
it.
good point, which is something that I'm super adamant about. Is just like I don't know. I just don't like big centralized governments in general. I'm very libertarian in that way, and yeah, I think the more that they regulate this stuff, the more that they're just like holding back the average person. And yeah, I don't know. We should be
For
free to
sure.
use whatever whatever models we want, and just not break the laws of the country, like I said.
Yeah, it would be really weird if like you're cheating on your homework in high school and they're like, well, if you use this model, we're gonna turn you into a felon. No Kimmy K3, okay?
Yeah,
ChatGPT only on this math problem. It's
I mean,
over.
a great example of like overregulation, which like this has a very good parallel to, is the accreditation laws with investing. Like they decided that people weren't smart enough to make investments on their own, so they made these accreditation laws to protect people from making bad investments. And the result of that overregulation is that like now the average person doesn't have access to like some of the best investments in the world. Like the average person wasn't allowed to invest into SpaceX when it was only $100 million company. Where like they could have made like 20,000x on their money by the time it went I by the time it IPO'd at near $2 trillion. But yeah, the government had to protect people from making investments into companies like that, and now they're trying to protect people from using AI models that are too powerful. And I think this is a very good parallel that. Yeah, like let people make their own decisions, because the only thing that you're creating is a bigger wealth divide, a bigger like divide in general. That like if people don't have, like if only select individuals have access to the most powerful models, it's just going to create a bigger divide between like the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, yeah, in principle, I agree. I will say though, I'm not totally against the why am I just blanking on the name after I heard you talk about it? Accredited investor rules,
Oh yeah,
because man, after being in crypto for a while, it really, you know, you get a sense of people's investing self, you know, direction and then choice decision making.
it's true. A
So,
lot of people make bad trades, bad investments, but I mean, it's our job to like learn from the mistakes that we make and get better. If not, then you kind of, if you don't learn from your mistakes, then I guess you just kind of deserve to be in the permanent underclass. No,
yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, so it is what it is. Good luck
it is
out
what
there,
it
guys.
is. Good luck.
Invest in SpaceX.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just to kind of
Okay.
wrap it all up, I wanted to
Yeah.
get into like one more story about Balaji and the network state, but that's a whole long topic, and I think we covered quite a bit today. So I'll leave that for the next one. But yeah, just to kind of like wrap things up, I think we are nearing a bottom. I think the bull market is coming back, and yeah, I don't know. This is the time to pay attention, guys. This is the time to use AI and get into crypto, because now is the time to get ahead, because there's definitely like a big wealth transfer coming in the next bull cycle, and it could be like one of the biggest ones ever. Not financial advice. This is just my opinion on stuff, but I think the last bull market, like in crypto especially, was very suppressed because of regulation in the US and the SEC going after crypto and stuff like that. So I think the next one could be a little bit closer to more like the 2017 style bull market, or 2020 was decent also. So yeah, I don't know. Time to pay attention, time to start dollar costing averaging into quality projects. So it's my thoughts,
Yeah,
not financial advice.
not financial advice. Yeah, I think you know, it's it's weird to give hopium to people in crypto, because the reality is, if you're just adept enough or connected enough or big enough, you can always pretty much make money in crypto. But and that's kind of like, I think that's like a big thing that people should really internalize, is like PvE mode and markets is nice. It definitely exists, but your goal should be to be able to make it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think self-education, as we talked about just before, is a good way to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
there's a lot of opportunity in crypto. I even if Bitcoin is bad or Ethereum is bad or whatever, I'd still recommend getting into crypto, understanding markets, understanding trading, understanding um, I guess the social psychology that goes into it, cryptography, currency, economic stuff, all really useful stuff to learn.
Yeah.
So
Completely agree. That's a good note to end it on. Is, yeah, I mean, I agree. You have all the tools at your disposal, like between like YouTube and all these different places where you can get education, and X. You got all the latest stuff. Everyone has access to the same information now. So yeah, I agree. Educate yourself. Get into this stuff. The nice thing about crypto is, yeah, there's like probably at this point tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of different projects, but like you said, there's opportunities somewhere, even if it's like in some niche corner of crypto and AI. There's definitely opportunities still, and there's going to be lots of opportunities to make lots of money still. So, educate yourself. Follow podcast live streams like this. We try to help, but there's a lot of other quality education out there. So, yeah, I don't know. Educate yourself and pay attention.
absolutely, and be locked
Cheers,
in.
folks. Get locked in. Exactly. We're locked
Absolutely
in. Hopefully, everyone else
locked
is
in.
too. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks for joining, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Of course, man. Likewise.
We'll see you guys on the next one.